welcome to All Things Energy. We are here with Heather Filmore this morning. Hello, Heather. How are you today?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you. I'm
Good,
excited to
good.
be here.
Yes, well, we had a wonderful little conversation yesterday, and we thought it'd be a good idea to do a video today. And I had a wonderful healing yesterday. I want to thank you so much for that, by the way. It was perfect. And maybe I won't air my laundry, but I will tell you what happened after our session yesterday.
Oh,
Probably, I would say about a half an hour after our session, and it was definitely for the positive, and it was one of the topics we were talking about.
oh, wonderful.
So
Awesome.
good. Yes, it was wonderful. So tell us a little bit about what it is that you were doing, and then maybe I'll go into what my experience was and what I felt I got out of it. It'll be a very interesting conversation today.
Oh, yeah, this is really great. See, it's really great to work with somebody and then talk about it to others just because it's so personal. You know, it's hard to describe what I do. So I think I love the interaction we're going to have today. So what I do is go into your field energetically, and it's like I have a laser beam, and I'm looking at all the energy where it's stuck. And now before I do this, I ask for the grace of God to be with me. Okay, I know people hear God, but God to me is the awareness of being. So it's not just energetically, there's a presence, and I'm going in um with grace. And so I scan your field, I see I see energy, what's stuck, and I clear. And sometimes I will get messages, and sometimes I don't. But yesterday was just a big clearing. I won't say what we found. I'll let you do that. But
Even even psychics need a clearing every once in a while. Maybe psychics hold other people's stuff in a different way as well, too. And then you interpret it as your own stuff when in actuality it could be, the people that are around you as well. It's interesting how energy works.
yes, it is so. And sometimes, we make choices, and that affects our energy as well. So but yes, we all do. We all need somebody else to help us because it's hard to see our blind spots.
For
You
sure.
know, it's really hard to see our blind spots. As much as we can work on ourselves, sometimes it's hard because we have to be so impersonal. You know, yeah.
uh, I found it very interesting because that was our second treatment. So I sort of had an idea of what to expect this time. The first time I was a little bit curious, and what is she doing, and what is that song coming out of her mouth that I can't understand the language of, and I don't know if I had maybe expectations in the first time, but the second time I really just went with the flow and just felt what was going on. And there was one thing I know that I could feel it in my body. And I had asked you the question, do you think I'd be able to feel it? Even though we were remote, do you think I'd be able to feel where you were working on my body? And I instantly said that maybe like 5 or 10 minutes into the meditation or the healing that we were doing, all of a sudden my face got really, really hot, and I could feel it, and it came up from my toes and it went up to my face, and it probably stayed warm for, oh, I don't know, quite a few minutes. And then it started moving through my body. And I noticed that things were popping. And I know when I have energy healings in the past, like things would pop in my body. And I know I'm clearing things when I can feel this popping and this feeling in my back, and even having some health issues or not feeling the best or wanting to get something a little more organized. I could feel how you were moving up and down my body, and if we could reflect and be able to communicate, I probably would have been able to tell you where you were working at that moment.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Yes, it's so cool because I know when people will say, I'm not sure what to expect, and the only thing I can say is just surrender, and
Exactly.
and all I'm gonna do is just bring your energy back to balance.
That's
And
exactly what it felt like when I was done. When I kind of came back and I could feel that you were kind of bringing me back to the room, I was very heavy in my physical body. My body was kind of sunk into the couch because I was laying down and relaxing. And we were there for quite a while. I don't really know how long we were there for, but we were there for quite a while. And I could feel my body energy just sinking into the couch and being very, very heavy. But I could also feel my etheric body above me. And it was almost as if I could see it in my mental mind that my energy was floating probably just about a foot above my body. And then all of a sudden, when you started singing, I felt the energy go whoa, right, like sucked right back into the physical body. And then I felt like my normal weight. I wasn't like sinking into the couch anymore. It was a very interesting experience the second time, because that's exactly what I did. I surrendered and I just allowed it to be, and felt what was going on, and knew where you were, and I did clear some blocks that were kind of bothering me and that were sitting with me. And again, I mean, this is on YouTube. Of course, I'm not going to tell everybody my all little, life issues that I'd like to clear, but I tell you, the experience, I remember the first time, it was probably a good 2 or 3 weeks that I walked around in that energy. And then, I feel great. I had a great sleep last night. I was really thirsty when we got up from the meditation. So I drank a lot of water all day. Normally I've been waking up, well, the last week, probably 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm wide awake and walking around in my house and, doing work. I'm trying to be productive at that time, but not being able to sleep past then. And this morning I was able to sleep to a reasonable hour of 6:30. So, so many benefits from it, and very interesting things that correlate to the healing and what we talked about. And I think where I come into a little bit of conflict is, at the beginning I was trying to be expressive in what my issues were. My, finite mind understands how to deal with these issues, and they almost seem trivial sometimes. They almost seem like, what are you bothering yourself with that drama for? So I have a hard time sometimes expressing sort of what's going on. I'm the one who helps people with the things that are going on. So for me, being able to kind of say to you, look, I'm dealing with this, that, and the other, is not always a comfortable thing. Do you ever find that in other clients as well?
yeah, well, it's hard to be it's hard to be vulnerable, so that this is why we go in and just, we ask questions. What's going on? Like, how do you feel about this? What have you done? What are some of the choices you made lately that you're not happy with? And really, I think it all comes down to just being human. We're
Mhm.
all every day we're making how many choices a day?
Well, we
Constantly.
have 70,000 thoughts a day, so I'm sure we're making a lot of choices in that.
That's right. And even the choices to choose, even the choice to choose our thoughts, like when our thoughts come in, what do we focus on? That's a choice.
Hmm.
What don't we focus on? So yes, just really just sitting down and asking people what's going on, what are the choices you made lately that don't feel so good, or what's going on in your body, what feels uncomfortable, right?
Right.
Because the choices we make are either going to drain our biology or enhance our biology. Now if they drain it, some part of your body is going to take a hit.
Hmm. It's sort of that, whatever's happening in your emotional body, whatever's happening in your emotional mind is going to reflect in the body somehow. And it builds. Like I've known over the years that, if you're constipated, you can't let things go. If you got a backache, a lower backache, you're worried about finances. If you got sore shoulders, you've got the weight of the world on your shoulder, like it all kind of translates from one to the other. And it kind of just makes sense if you just sit back and think about it for a minute.
Yes, it does. And
It does.
the thing with healing energetically is that it's not rational.
Exactly.
So it's so
What
illogical.
is?
And we always want to figure things out with our mind. Okay,
Yeah.
we need to know if this happens, this happens, this happens, everything. Yeah. But the thing is, you have to get out of that, because healing and knowing and intuition is not logical.
Because there is a science to intuition. It's
There is,
measurable. You can measure your intuition.
yes, yes. And the more, it's a skill. Everybody is born with it, but we spend our entire lives suppressing it.
Hmm.
So that's why they say it's a skill. We're born with it,
For
but it
sure.
is a skill. It is a skill. You have to develop it by not listening to that rational mind all the time, you know?
So you explained to me about it moving from your throat and getting stuck, and that made a whole lot of sense where it got stuck. And I kind of took that as when it gets stuck, you're saying it the wrong way, or you're interpreting it, or you're on the wrong side of the fence to make it a positive outcome. So I really took that to heart when you explained that to me, as it gets blocked there, and that's what the healing is going to do. It's going to move the block through. So that's exactly what it did. I'm telling you, like a half an hour after it, I was like, no, this did. And I tell you, it worked almost right away. It was very cool.
Oh yeah, that's really great, because really the mind, as we talked about yesterday, can be, it's kind of arrogant. It can be a little arrogant and seductive. So we have a thought in our mind, and it has to get back through that fifth chakra,
Hmm.
right? Which is our will, our strong will. And if it makes it down here and gets to the heart, the mind's out of commission, because the heart is what calls the shots.
Follow
Like
your
the
heart.
heart always calls the shots. If your heart is into something, your project is getting off the ground. Your idea is getting off the ground, and then it can go all the way down to your first chakra, and we can manifest this in the physical.
Well, that's a great thing, because really, if you do follow your heart, and really, if that's the if that is just such the easiest part to it, it's so rational and it's so reasonable, and it's God, in my opinion. That's what
Yes,
heart is, and that's how you communicate. And I do believe that you can communicate in such ways, and you and I are a vessel, but just in different ways.
that's right. That's right.
That's it. It's
It is the
very,
language of God. I mean,
yes. Either way
we,
you look at it.
any way you look at it.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's a
Yeah.
very interesting topic. God is one of those, God, politics, religion, that's one of those harder conversations to have, but I think it's the one that we should be having the most lately. I think it's the answer to a lot of problems, really, in today's society, in my feeling. That's just my opinion, but
Yes, it
I
is.
believe we can get a lot of answers there.
Yes, everybody, because we're always trying to be so politically correct. But, even in my own work, I was always a little hesitant to say God, just
Mm.
because of everybody's interpretation of who God is. But I use it all the time now, because in my
It
work,
just
because
is.
I have to, because if I'm going to show up in my authentic self, I have to tell you that God's involved here.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I tend to follow people who speak like that. I tend to follow people who talk from that stance, because whether or not they get it right or they get it wrong, or what have you, that doesn't matter, as long as they're coming from that space. It seems like it's truth. It resonates as truth to me, even if they have information a little bit wrong or something like that. That's just out there when I'm watching other videos and stuff like that. But I find this so fascinating, Heather, and what you do is so interesting to me, and that you can do it remotely the way you do. We're an hour apart from each other is what it is.
Yes,
So you can help anybody anywhere in the world.
yes, yes. I tap into your field, and then our higher selves talk. We talk.
We talk. Well, we had the confirmation after we had our session. We were
Yes.
able to talk about what I was feeling and what it was correlating to what you were getting. It was quite enlightening. I will say
Well,
so.
It is because, if you have decisions to make and you're always seem like you're walking around in this fog and you're not clear, well, how can you make clear decisions, and how can you get to that next place if your energy is all distorted and you're not grounded? So I see my job as going in, I heal, but I also ground you. So when you look at your life now, it doesn't look so overwhelming. You can break everything down and say, okay, all I have to do today is, and
This
then continue
situation.
on with your day. Yeah, it's not so confusing and disorienting.
And isn't it funny? I'm just kind of looking now. I'm wearing everything that's grounding. I'm wearing browns, I'm wearing blues, I'm wearing greens, I'm wearing anything that's earthly. And it was just something, and I'm just thinking about that. And it's like,
Look at that.
does it affect your energy in that sense where it actually chooses, what you decide you're going to feel comfortable in today? I find that cool.
Well, yes, that's right. I mean,
Uh,
and what is so great is working with people is that we show up honestly. Because I'm not here to judge. I'm very impersonal. Not that I don't care, but I'm focusing in on what you need. So, and I say to my partner, if I'm going to be working with people, I'm, on my end, in my own relationships, I'm going to be doing my work. I'm going to be having difficult conversations with my partner, with friends. And so this morning, last night, afterwards, I had a conversation with my partner about some things, and sometimes you have to bring things up that are not comfortable in the moment, but afterwards, it's like, wow, what a big difference. So today I'm wearing yellow because, whoa, there's a lot of clearing and things in our communication. So it was really great.
and it's funny how when the clearing happens, what you are clearing and what you make way for and what shows up because of it.
Yes,
Like
yes.
it's so remarkable how the world or the universe answers the energy.
Yes, that's what I say, prayer. But those intuitive hits, once everything is clear and you're grounded, your energy, oh my goodness, you can expect a few synchronicities a day.
Sure, absolutely. And that it will become mathematically impossible for you to believe that it's a coincidence when you start doing this. It,
Absolutely.
you won't be able to say, okay, that's just a coincidence. You won't be able to. You'll have too much positive proof saying, okay, this is working. And now I need to share it with everybody. And I'm going to look a little crazy doing it, but I don't care because everybody needs to feel this way.
Yes, that's right. That's why I say we change the world, when we change ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Heather, it has been a pleasure, obviously, again. I know it's been a little while since we've done our videos. The fall is here. So back
Yes,
to, we took a little hiatus over the summer. Everybody was busy. I was super busy, but we're back at it. We're going to
I
have fall
know.
here next week. And of course, we would love for you to come back and maybe we can do a Q&A with you as well. Maybe we can figure out somehow where people can contact you and maybe ask you some questions, or we can get somebody on the chat or something along those lines. I mean, we'll switch it up a little bit, see what everybody wants. Is there anything you'd like to close with, or anything you'd like to say?
Ah, just how grateful I am, just how grateful I am to have met you and to be able to have this platform to share what I do, just so I can help people, help people become their more authentic selves and tap into their own intuition. I give tools.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the name of this podcast, The Science of Intuition.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
we would like to be able to offer the assistance for people to understand really what are some good mechanisms to tap into intuition? What are some good tools that we need to do? And everybody has their own ways of following their own intuition. I always know people have a hard time trusting their own intuition, but there's got to be ways. Maybe that can be a conversation we could have in the near future.
Yeah, I'd love to.
All right,
I love
that
to.
sounds
It's
great.
it's exciting. It really
It
is exciting.
it is exciting. I'm excited about all of this. And we have some new projects that are coming out too, and I'm excited about that. My heart is in it.
The heart is calling this shocks, girlfriend.
The heart is in it. So we will look forward to seeing you again. How can
Yes.
anybody get in contact with you if they would like to book an appointment with you?
My website is www.awakeningthetruth.ca.
Wonderful, and I'll link it in the video.
Okay.
And if anybody would like to reach out to me, Dana Jensen, Psychic Medium, and it has been wonderful. Again, thank you everybody
Yes.
for watching All Things Energy, and we will see you next time.
Okay. Thank you.